Alright, so let me fill you in a little bit to what's going on before I play this. I mean, this shouldn't be a long video. I might switch out to look at some things. I didn't prep for this at all because this kind of came out of nowhere. This is crazy. I mean, I remember the night. Try to sit back and think. Think back. What were you doing when the election happened in 2020 and the water pipe broke and all the other nonsense? And what were you doing then? I know what I was doing. I was sitting in the living room watching the elections. Like the whole night. I remember that night I went to bed because they shut down a lot of the election places, especially in Fulton County, Georgia. And then the next day I woke up, right? And all of a sudden Trump was winning, and then all of a sudden he was losing. And it made no sense at all. It made no sense. And the numbers were just insane weird. Like an election that couldn't happen. Look, what I'm telling you is this. All of us out there who said that the elections were rigged in 2020 are now justified. You are justified if you thought that. Everybody who shamed you, everybody is like, oh, you're conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Either they're not very smart, okay, or they're dangerously inept. Like, they don't want to be involved in politics. They don't realize how fragile our country is. All them people go into the same handbasket of sinking our nation. Okay, I get it. People don't want to get involved in politics, but look, this is for the defense of our fucking country. You don't get to check out to that. I mean, you should not be in this country if you are checking out to that. That is not an excuse for me. That just, nope, it does not stand with me at all. Like, that is not a valid excuse. We're talking about something like the election. The most powerful person on the fucking planet being elected, okay? You have to have secure elections for that to happen. If we, the people, have the power, okay, as they say we do, then those elections need to be 100% secure. Like, that's what I never understood. Why did we have voting? Why was our voting tabulations being done from Venezuela under Maduro? I mean, I cannot believe anybody would know what's going on here and had follow it, would go, hey, you know what, that makes sense. That makes zero fucking sense. 0 cents. Now we have proof. We had proof before, and look, I got to give Trump credit. I mean, but here's the thing. There's one thing, okay, listen. It's one thing to find the fraud, okay, and to jail some of the people, okay? That's great too. But this was a foreign countries were involved in this. Okay? And I guarantee the UK was one of them. I fucking guarantee you. I bet you $100 right now the United Kingdom was involved in it. Because if you remember right, not long after that, okay, what happened? We ended up with the Ukraine debacle. And then 4 years of us having to filter money to them. They came into our country, all the Somalis. I mean, what were they... I'm trying to keep calm here. But what were they doing? What was the purpose of all that? I mean, it's proven that Biden used the auto pen more than he was actually fucking there. You know what I mean? So all these people were involved in trying to overthrow the United States. Think about that. All these countries were involved in trying to overthrow the United States. There is no other way to put it. That is how it is. I mean, now people cannot sit there and say conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. Turns out the conspiracy was the truth. I know I'm getting, like, fired up, but I mean, finally justification, right? So many people, like, oh, you think too much into it. Oh, you shouldn't pay attention to politics. Motherfucker, what are you talking about? Like, why do you think you... Dude, when would you join the military if you didn't care about your nation? No, you wouldn't. It doesn't matter if you ended up in combat or not. You know what I mean? I'm saying anybody who joined the military, okay, they're joining it to defend this nation. And if an election's stolen, everything they're doing is for nothing, right? It's being stolen from them too, and they're actually out there fighting for it. I'm sorry. This is fucking insane. All right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to, like, I'm trying really to keep calm. I know it doesn't sound like it, but trust me, this is me more or less calm. People don't see me when I'm mad. Trust me. If I get mad, I mean, I'm not trying to be like a big head or nothing, but a lot of people think that when I'm talking, I'm fired up, I'm angry. I'm not. I'm very happy right now. I'm justifiably angry a little bit that for years I was looked at like a maniac, you know what I mean? Or like I don't know, in some way it wasn't my right to look at something that was so obviously corrupt. We knew it was corrupt. And I don't know, man. Like I couldn't even see that. I couldn't even call that out. Hell, for a while they were putting people in jail for doing that. I mean, I couldn't even get a video out then. I couldn't get a video out talking about it. You would get kicked, deplatformed off of Xbox, for God's sakes, just for mentioning it. You would get community noted on YouTube all day long. Yeah, YouTube. Never happened. The elections, the theft never happened, right? Right? That's what they told us. That's what the fuck they told us. Let me think about this for a second. What is the proper reaction? What should be the proper reaction for us everyday Americans? Okay? Think about that. I'm here to tell you right now, I'm pissed. And I want to see justice. I want to see justice served. And not just to the heads, not just here and there. I want to see, because anybody involved in this is, again, what is the deal with the treason? I tell you what the deal is. We allowed them in. That's what it is. We bring in, sub 65 IQ incest babies into our country. And what happens? Fraud everywhere. You know, and the Democrats, look, they're doing it in Britain right now. Look at what we could have been. Look at Britain. Seriously, that's what they wanted to turn America into, everybody. This is big shit. This is a huge deal. You can ignore it. I guess you can. I don't see how, really, to be honest with you, if you're an American. Look, you go to any other country and you don't have the lives that we have here, okay? Anybody in this country who takes that for granted does not deserve it. I mean, look, it's simple, okay? You go, imagine, okay, I let somebody start staying at my house, all right? And they're just bitching every day. Oh, I gotta have breakfast in bed. I gotta, don't want this person over. You gotta be in by a certain time. They don't even pay the fucking bills, but they're still sitting there saying that, and they're borrowing money off you. They're eating your food. They're shitting in your toilet. You know what I mean? And when you ask them to leave, they tell you no. They tell you, they put their finger in your face, and they tell you how big of a piece of shit you are because you don't give a, you want them to leave. I mean, that's exactly what happened. And don't tell me that the demon rats, these fucking sub-65ers, didn't know. They knew. I guarantee the majority of them were involved in it. That's exactly what's going on in Minnesota. Look, I don't want to see a civil war. That's never been my thing. No war. I don't want to see war anymore. You know, I want there to be peace. However, in order for us to have that, okay, we have to have a safe, secure country where fraud and foreign nationals cannot come in and subvert our elections. Because once the elections are subverted, that's when you get 4 years of Biden. And he almost brought America to his knees. He almost destroyed his country. I don't think that enough people understand how close we were to losing this nation. And I said that for years, and now finally people are standing up and going, yeah, that's right. I feel justified now. Totally justified. I was the same one and a bunch of people who were insane or ignorant, one or the other. So let's get on with this. This is Benny. You all know Benny Johnson. Please go like, subscribe. I mean, there's other people busting us out. I'm not going to name them all. It's not my job to do it. But either way, go subscribe to Benny Johnson. He was talking about this earlier this morning. I know about the FBI raid in Fulton, Georgia. That is awesome, by the way. There's some other shit going on, too, which I might add into this video, which is that Somali woman, Ilhan Omar, and her bullshit, fake attack and everything else. There more information's come out about all that stuff. But for right now, let's just focus on this. This is like a 10-minute video outside of my rant in the beginning, so this should only be like a 20-minute video or so. And because usually I only make one video a day. All right, let's get into it.
Who are you? So stupid. Take a breath and answer me. Just because you are shaking and have an attitude, it doesn't impress me. Don't be smart with me. Straighten up your attitude. People are watching you today. Do you still live with your mother?
What's up, guys? Benny. Ever since Nicolas Maduro was black-bagged by Delta Force, we told you it wasn't just because he was slinging drugs, it was because he was stealing elections. Both of those things are really bad for America. One of them is Donald Trump's passion project, the stolen election of 2020. And since Nicolas Maduro is allegedly singing like a songbird inside of a New York jail cell, Donald Trump has been out bragging that he now has all the evidence.
The beauty of this is that there is no way for anybody to know if he's singing or not. So all these Democrats, I can't believe they're still in the country. They need to run because this is going to end very bad for them. I implore Donald Trump to bring back the treason charges, to carry those sentences out. That will stop people from doing this treasonous shit. And that goes from Minnesota to all of them. Bring back treason charges. It's a death penalty. We need to enforce it. This is not a joke anymore. This is no longer a joke. They wanna destroy our country, everybody. Period. This is a proof of it. They want to destroy our nation. And you can laugh it off. I know there's some people out there that are going to do that. I know personal people that would do that because they're so attached to the sub-65ers, you know, but
evidence he needs to prosecute 2020 election theft.
We send them back, and we coordinate with other countries. A tremendous amount of work.
You'll hear President Trump say stuff like this.
An open border policy of the worst president in the history of our country. A man that didn't win the election, by the way, it was a rigged election. Everybody knows that now. And by the way, numbers are coming out that show it even more plainly. We caught him. We caught him.
Says President Trump. We caught him as he takes the evidence and literally throws it in the face of reporters at the White House.
President Trump, separated by
days later, says this.
It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020 U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did.
People will be prosecuted for what they did. A reminder that Tulsi Gabbard, who is on the ground right now in Georgia at the Fulton Election Center, had this to say to Donald Trump about her investigation.
Evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast.
Manipulate the results of the votes being cast. Well, that is exactly what happened in Fulton County, Georgia, where nobody's quite sure how the votes or the tabulators worked. They've never been allowed to be inspected. You've never gotten a chance to actually look at all the ballots, and now the FBI has conducted a full raid of the Operation Center hub in Georgia at the exact same time, that a man who was in charge of Dominion voting systems admits in sworn testimony that he met with foreign nationals to discuss Dominion equipment, discussed vote adjudication software with foreign employees, discussed election systems codes and programming at code-based level with foreign employees. These are not allegations. These are his own admissions sworn to in federal court. You can see the documentation here. And what does this lead to? Well, if you put them all together, what you'll find is that everything that was told to you about the 2020 election was a lie. Ex-Dominion voting system executive Eric Coomer admits under oath in this deposition that he is discussing voting equipment adjudication software source code with foreign nationals, including Serbians, who could remotely troubleshoot in Denver offices. This contradicts years of Dominion denials of foreign involvement in U.S. elections. Now, what we've heard and why I think this raid is going on and why Tulsi Gabbard, here's a photo of Tulsi Gabbard, why Tulsi Gabbard is involved is because these voting systems were connected to servers that were international, that could be hacked by international countries, by countries other than the United States of America, and that our elections were hacked. That President Trump put up a crack team in 2024 to prevent this from happening, and that this is now a national security issue. That's why the national security director is there on the ground in Georgia. It's also why Democrats are losing their minds, freaking out, making cringe videos like this one. Like, what is wrong with this lady? Like, I don't get it. She looks like Paddington Bear Al Sharpton. I don't know. But everyone is freaking out over whatever's happening. And here's what's happening. Everyone flips out when Tulsi looks at things because they know that she will dig down to the truth. Tulsi Gabbard's presence at the raid in Fulton County, Georgia is very significant. Gabbard laid out evidence of treasonous conspiracy against Donald Trump. Today's events show that the 2020 election was part of that grand conspiracy investigation. What was the role of the CIA, the FBI, Obama? We have proof of interference, Biden laptop, and so on, but it's getting bigger. Tulsi Gabbard's involvement in the FBI raid in Fulton County suggests, if there was any doubt, that this story is about to get really, really crazy. So what are you going to see? Well, I think that all these things are happening for a reason. I think that they're all happening at the same time. Things happen slowly and then very, very quickly. For anyone who hasn't seen this old documentation of Eric Coomer from Dominion, he used with Sequoia, he was blatant talks about transmitting data from their machines through wireless modem into the vote tallies, updates, changing voter rotation representation. These machines were specifically designed for fraud. What more do you want? Many people have suggested that millions of Trump's votes were deleted nationwide or were flipped. Batches of hundreds of thousands were changed and rigged via these systems. Nicolas Maduro gets arrested, and now suddenly you have the executives pleading out that they were working with foreign actors. My sources inside the administration say pretty plainly that there's something big going on here, and that Donald Trump worked really hard in 2024 with a team that included Elon Musk, but senators and other really smart crack agents inside and outside of the national security space in order to prevent another theft of the election. And what they ended up doing was shutting down these systems abroad. What they ended up doing was shutting down the vote tabulation systems that went internationally and could hack our elections. This was a major Elon Musk project. So what's the FBI getting right now? They're getting piles and piles of ballots, hundreds of thousands of them, that allegedly are fraudulent. This is what this raid in Fulton County looks like. They backed up massive trucks to the election center, and they took out the ballots. And they took out...
That's been six years. We've been waiting for this for 6 years. I'm glad I was able to see it in my lifetime. I mean, yeah, these people need to be held to treason. I mean, seriously. And no more of this backing off on the news and, you know, in public thing and be like, oh, because, like, when Trump came out and said that about treasonous charges, you know, the mainstream, oh my God, you're going to kill people? Yeah, in real life, we kill people. It happens. You know, it can be done as a punishment, too, you idiot. It happens in wars. It happens in punishment. You know what I mean? Why should we let somebody suck and mooch off us and parasite off us in a jail cell for their entire life? You know what I mean? And have you ever seen how good they... I mean, shit, in a jail cell? I'm not saying that's where I want to be at, but I'm just saying... I mean, especially if somebody they know has money.
Everything. I mean, the warrant that they got was unbelievable. It was a criminal warrant that says you can seize everything. You have criminal cause to seize everything. It wasn't a search warrant. It wasn't a subpoena. It was a criminal warrant. FBI executives search warrant Fulton County Election Center, seizing contentious 2020 election ballots. For 6 years, the public has not been allowed to inspect these ballots, 150,000 of them. Sworn affidavits say they are counterfeit. This is a 20-year election official saying pristine ballots that had difference in texture of the paper with a different feel and no.
I remember this. I remember when this all happened. And, like, why wasn't this dealt with before? Because we've had traitors in our midst. That's how. So every time that some of these sub-65ers try to convince you that everybody else is bad to vote for them, do not vote for them, because these are the people, those are the ones doing this right here. The 65er party, the Demon Rat party, should never win another election. Not in a trust in the situation that's going on right now. This is insane. This is, like, seriously, this is insane.
No markings and approximately 98% for Joe Biden. Hundreds of ballots with no folds or creases, perfect blank bubbles, all for Biden. Another Georgia Democrat. All had perfect black bubbles, all were for Biden. I heard Biden over 500 times in a row. So there you go. Is that what they're going to find? Here's Rudy Giuliani sharing the photos of this operation. Pretty significant. I mean, this is heavy work. Heavy work right here. Look at that. They're bringing it in. And Tulsi Gabbard was physically on the ground. From Rudy. FBI sees the 2020 election ballots. Deputy Director of the FBI was there. Tulsi Gabbard was there. The FBI Mobile Command Center was set up outside of the election warehouse. Transport trucks were brought in to receive the ballots. Remember, Biden only won Georgia by 10,000 votes. Fulton County admitted to certifying 300,000 fraudulent votes without poll signatures. The truth will set you free, says Rudy, who lost a lot, by the way, in all of this. He was like enemy number one, this side of Trump. So I guess we'll see. You know, if you ran a fair election, why are you freaking out? Why are so many libs losing their minds if this election was free and fair? What? Anybody? Why would they be losing their minds if we're just checking their homework on the most secure election ever? That Joe Biden got all these legitimate votes. Good question. Good question.
I mean, these are all very good points. Very good points. Why are they freaking out? I guess we'll see, as he said. All right, I appreciate. I'm not making a big video about this. I appreciate you for stopping by, and yeah, we'll see where this goes. I mean, I can tell you right now, there's going to be arrests. There's going to be arrests. It's just, where will we see it in the public? Because here's the thing: a lot of this stuff has to be handled in private. Because you can't just get rid of everybody. I mean, it isn't like you have a whole lot of Americans running for office. Like, there's a line of Americans trying to, especially on the conservative side. And that's something that needs to change on the conservative side. We need to get more involved in politics. I mean, we need to have more people up there that aren't corrupt, that are normal people like me and you. You know what I mean? And even, I guess people like that could be corrupt too. But, I mean, to me, if I was making $180,000 a year, $165,000 a year, that's a lot of fucking money. That's a hell of a lot of money. I don't need to cheat the system. I mean, hell, that's like I just said, living La Vida Loca right there. That's living on the high end of the high end. Because we're already living a high end in America, but we're living in a high end if you're making that much. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm reacting to this just like you are, only just a little bit more aggressively because I've dealt with this for, like I said, 4 years. 315,000 certified fraudulent ballots. That is fucking insane. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the news. Sua sponte Deus Volt.